Okay, so here, Wednesday. Don't worry about writing this. I'm just going to talk while you're working on your warm-up, okay? Um, Today we are going to work on our warm-up. I'm going to walk around here in a second and check your homework. Make sure everything's completed, okay? And afterwards, I'll need to model again for you how to do or solve inequalities, which in terms, guys, is still helping you solving equations, okay? So we're killing two birds with one stone. All right, I'm going to then give you time to finish up the independent practice from yesterday. Today, the independent practice problems are going to be the even ones. Okay, so after you complete the even problems, you need to make sure that you submit your work. If you finish early, then you can work on your makeup work or submit assignments that you haven't submitted yet. So that gives you time. Also gives you time if you want to work on your homework, you can work on your homework after you finish this, okay? The set that we're doing today is set 4C. And if, of course, if you don't finish your homework, your classwork, the even problems, you need to make sure that you finish those for homework. All right, couple things. The quiz, I separated the quiz into two different parts. We're not going to have time for me to really do literal equations because you're still struggling with inequalities. So I'm spending another day on inequalities because of that. So up here at the top, I'm erasing literal, and I'll start that next week. We're just not ready for it. Okay. So tomorrow I'm going to give you a short quiz on equations. And then on Friday, I'm giving you a short quiz on inequalities, just breaking it up. Please make sure that you go back and study your notes. That's why I'm giving you a bunch of independent practice today. Problems that you find very difficult, those are the problems that I want to go over with you, just to make sure that you understand. Any questions, comments, or concerns? I'm going to pause here so I can go ahead and check your homework. All right, good people. Let's look at our warm-up real quickly. I'm not going to do them all. See what you got. The first one, rational or irrational?
Irrational.
This is rational because I do know what number's coming next. It doesn't, if it had the dots at the end, like 3, 2, dot, with no repeating sign, this is irrational. But I know what number's coming next because there's a pattern as to how they're repeating. Scientific notation, I'm going to move the decimal behind the first significant digit, which is a 4. 1, 2, 3 places to get it to the 4. So that's 4.52 times 10, and the number was smaller than 1, so it's going to be a -3. That's okay. You do not worry about that. This is 8th grade skill. You won't be tested on it, but it's good for you to know that because that's something that was covered 8th grade /7th grade curriculum if you was in advanced math. So again, with scientific notation, locate the decimal. This number is smaller than 1, so my exponent is going to be a negative. Okay? I'm going to move the decimal, no matter where it is, behind the first digit that has a value. Not behind a 0. 0 doesn't have a value. So I need to move it behind the 4. 4 is the first digit that you come to that actually has a value. So how many times did it take for me to get behind the 4? 1, 2, 3. So that's why this is a -3. Okay. All right, and we already did ones like this. This one down here, you probably make sure you change all of these to decimals so you'll know which from greatest to least. This one right here, what's the opposite of cubing a number?
Square cube.
Square cube. No, that's cube though.
Cube root.
Cube root. Okay, so cube root. So we're gonna do the cube root on both sides. Cube root is saying what number can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you that value. Okay, so the cube root of v to the 3rd power is just v, because v can be multiplied times itself 3 times to give you v to the 3rd. What's the cube root of 1,000? Let's type. I'm going to show you how to type that in if you don't remember. Or if you don't know how to do it, think of a number, okay? You go to math, and down here you'll see the cube root symbol. So you're going to go here, and you're going to type in, what's that, 1,000? 1,000. And that's going to be 10, okay? And you know it's 10 because it has, when you multiply 10 times 10 times 10, that's 3 zeros, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be V is equal to 10. All right. Here we're multiplying. So let's multiply the numbers first. 2 times 3 is 6. Now let's do these x's. X to the third and then x to the first. X to the third times x to the first. All you're doing is adding the exponents. 3 plus 1 is 4. So x is being multiplied 4 times. Now we got the y's. We got y to the fifth times y to the third. Y is being multiplied 5 times here and 3 times here. So y is being multiplied a total of how many times? 8. So we got y to the eighth. Now we got z, but we don't have a z here, so it's just going to be z to the second. This is your answer. Okay? I'm showing you, modeling for you how to show your work. This is how you show your work. Don't forget to convert all of these to decimals. And here, did anybody struggle with doing the square root of 19?
No.
What number did y'all get?
4.
Okay. Yes.
I was a little bit confused with number 3 with the square root of 29.
Oh, the square root of 29. You could estimate that. What two whole numbers is it in between? It's 5 and 6. 5 times 5, 25. And then 36. Is it closer to 25 or is it closer to 36? 25, which is 5. So it's gonna be 5 point, not even halfway. 5.5 be halfway. So 5.3, 5.4, somewhere in there. Okay, if you wanted to estimate it, that's how you figure out what that is. So we know this is 5 point something. Okay. This one you divide. This gives you what?
5.1.
Well, 5.1. Okay, so now the smallest you think would be what? Oh, what did you get for this one?
5.1. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the smallest would be this one, right? It says least to greatest, and then you got 5 point. Let's see, so then probably this one. It's backwards. Let me go ahead and figure out what the square root of 29 is, because it could be lower than that. Yeah, 5.3. I was thinking 5.3. Yeah, that's right. I was thinking 5.4, but it's almost. Yeah, it's in the same spot anyway. So, okay. All right, let's go ahead, put this away. We've already labeled our homework. We know what our homework is. I want to give us time to practice solving inequalities because that's what we need the most help with. Please take out the inequalities sheet. I'm going to show you where where the videos are, so that if you need help, you can get help that way as well. If you're at home, I'm gonna pause. Okay, we're gonna work out number 8 on the solving inequality sheet. Let's see, right here, this one. All right, that's 3 minus 2 parentheses n minus 4. This is our greater than -1. Okay, for those of you that need that one. All right, first thing that we are doing here is distributive property. Do you see distributive property? That's your first step. So you're going to take, you see this minus sign? You're going to multiply -2 times both numbers in the parentheses. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? That's where you messed up? Okay. So for here, you got 3. Then you multiply -2 times n. That's -2n. Then you multiply -2 times a -4. What did that give you? And you bring everything else down. Okay. Now you're going to combine like terms on each side separately. On this side, what can I combine over here? Okay, very good. 3, this is a +3 plus 8. What's +3 plus 8? 11. Then this is -2n. Bring down the greater than sign. Bring down the -1. Okay. So now what are we going to do in order to get n by itself? Which one of these numbers do I get rid of first? Okay, how do you get rid of a +11? Okay, good job. You're going to subtract 11 on both sides. This is gone, and I'm left with -2n. Bring down the greater than sign. -1 minus 11 gives you what? A -12. Okay. So now, what are we going to do to get n by itself? Yes.
Divide by -2.
Divide both sides by -2. And what does that give you?
N.
N. And what else?
6.
It's +6. And what inequality is this going to be? You flip it, or you flip the inequality because you divide it by a negative. So this is going to be less than. This is less. Okay, so that means when you graph it, you put your 6 here in the middle, and you're going to shade all the values that are smaller than 6. Bless you. All the values that are smaller than 6. Okay. Any questions about that? All right. Do you need headphones? Number 10, you have -2 parentheses b plus 1. Then we have +4. This is less than 10. Okay. All right. So what do you do first? Do you have your hand raised?
Not for this, no.
Oh.
But I have my hand raised for a while. I need the new sheet I came from my phone.
I asked you though, because if you needed to know. Here, come get this one. All right. Yes.
Are we supposed to do all the odds first?
I don't care as long as they're all done now at this point. Because yesterday you were supposed to do odd, and today is even. So at this point, that doesn't matter. As long as they all get done. Make sure they're numbered. Okay. All right, so first thing here is distributive property. So -2 times b is -2b. -2 times a +1 is -2. Bring everything else down. Okay, who asked for this one? I forgot. Okay. What do you do next?
Then you would add 2 to both sides.
No. What can you do before you start moving stuff? Use your steps that's in your notebook. Use your steps that's in combined like terms, okay? If you forget, don't hesitate to go back and look at your steps here where it says if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, flip the inequality. You're going to do distributive property, combine like terms, move variables to the same side, isolate the variable. Okay? So here, you're going to combine like terms. What does this give you when you combine them?
+2.
Okay, very good. So that's -b plus 2 less than 10. Now what do you do? Last step is to isolate the variable. Which one of these are you going to get rid of first?
2.
The 2. How do you get rid of the 2?
Subtract 2 from both sides.
Subtract 2 from both sides. When you subtract 2 from both sides, this is gone, and we're left with -2b Bring down the less than sign, and on this side, you have positive 8. Now, what are you going to do to isolate the variable? Yes?
Divide by -2.
Divide both sides by -2. A -2 divided by -2 is 1b. Since you divided both sides by a negative, flip the inequality, and that gives you a -4. Okay? When you're graphing, the values are greater than -4. So you put -4 in the middle with an open circle because it's no equal to, and you're going to shade all the values that are greater than. So that's to the right. This is greater. Okay. All right, number 12. Number 12 is 3 parentheses 6b minus 1 is greater than, this is greater than sign, 18 minus 3b. Okay. First step is distributive property. So let's distribute first. Multiply positive 3 times both numbers in the parentheses. Okay. 3 times 6b gives me what? 18. 3 times a -1 gives me -3. Bring everything else down. Does that make sense to you? Are you okay with that? Now we notice that both sides are exactly, well, no, almost. It looks like they were the same, but they're not. So let's move the variables to the same side. Let's add 3b. It doesn't matter which one you move. Here, when you move it, you got 18 and 21. Bring down the inequality. This is gone, and you're left with 18. Does that make sense to you? Are you okay with that? Are you okay?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to add 3 to both sides to get b by itself. This is gone now, and I'm left with a positive 21. Make this look like a 1. B. Continue to bring down the greater than sign, and this is also 21. What are we going to do lastly? Yes.
What I was going to say.
That's all right. This is multiplication, so the inverse of that is what? Division. So you're going to multiply both sides by 21. 21 divided by 21 is 1, so I'm left with 1b. 21 divided by 21 is 1. So my value for b is greater than 1. So when you graph, 1 goes in the center. It's not equal to, there's no equal to, so leave it open. And the values that are greater are this way.